The Three Little Birds podcast by Amy. Oh, da 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 da.
Well, hello, my friend, and welcome to another episode of the Three Little Birds podcast. I'm Amy. It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you spending your time with me, doing whatever you do while you listen to your podcasts. So today I thought I'd talk about another aspect of my work, and that is sound healing. Now, I get a lot of questions about sound healing, mostly from the lovely people I play for at the retirement home. And if you heard I think it was my second episode, A Day in the Life, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But they're all perfectly valid questions. And so I just wanted to go through them now to reassure you, if you've never had a sound bath before, that it's all perfectly safe and fun and enjoyable. First of all, it is a sound bath, SOUND, not a sand bath. As in sand from the beach. I say that because I say sound bath to people and they're like, oh, am I going to get sandy? No, you won't get sandy. There's no sand involved. You don't need a swimsuit. There is no water involved. There's no water in the bowls. So no sand and no water, just sound. And the idea with the sound bath is that we are bathing you in sound, right? Bathing you in that lovely vibration, that lovely energy. So you could say that a sound bath is a meditative experience where people lie down and they're enveloped in soothing sounds, in my case, produced by crystal singing bowls. They are my instruments of choice. I love them. They're brilliant. It's almost like they flip a switch in my brain and I'm instantly calm. I just love it. A sound bath can be conducted with many different instruments. So I've been to all sorts of sound baths at this point. Some people play with crystal singing bowls like I do. Crystal singing bowls are made of quartz crystal. I'll share a bit more about them in a minute. You might also have been to a gong bath, which is the big sort of metal discs that hang from a frame, and people use different sort of flumies and sticks and things to manipulate the sound that comes from them. You might also have Tibetan bowls or Nepalese bowls, metal bowls, effectively, that emit different notes. You could also have a sound bath with drums or ocean drums, which make a sort of sound, chimes or rain sticks, all sorts of things. You can have a sound bath with most instruments. I like to explain it as sort of like a concert, right? So you could have a concert with really any instrument. And my instrument of choice is crystal singing bowls. I love them. So with a sound bath, we are essentially promoting relaxation and healing, almost like a cellular massage, right? Because if you've ever played an instrument or seen videos of people where they put sand, and I am talking now about beachy sound, on like a metal disc or a metal plate, and then they swipe a violin bow down the side of it, it creates a sort of vibration, a resonance, and the sand creates a shape, right? And it's so interesting to watch that. It's like a visual representation of what could happen in a sound bath, or when you listen to any music, really, that music can create feeling and sensation in your mind and in your body, and a sound bath is very similar. So with the sound, we're working with the sound, the notes. So I use 7 crystal singing bowls, and each one is a different musical note. So we start with a low C and we work up to a B, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And the sound themselves, the sounds that are emitted from the singing bowls, I love. They're very soothing. It's very gentle. It's very powerful. They're not overwhelming. It's not too intense. Some people find the louder instruments like gongs a little bit intense. I enjoy gong baths personally. It is intense, but it's a good intensity. But it's personal preference, right? And the ones I love playing the most and the ones I love hearing on repeat are the crystal singing bowls for me. So that's what I use. And, my Sound bath clients seem to love it too because they keep coming back. So thank you guys. If you're a sound bath participant, thank you for coming back. I'm so glad you enjoy it as much as I do. So when you're experiencing a sound bath, you're hearing the sounds, yes, which can be soothing and relaxing. You also might get similar sensations in your body that you might experience in a Reiki session. And I always bring Reiki into everything I do, and I always bring Reiki into my sound bath experiences. So partly for the vibration and the sound, but also partly because of the Reiki, you might get different sensations in your body. And so that could be tingling, twitching, pins and needles, heat or cold in different areas of the body. Tummy rumbling is really common because we're moving out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. So where the energy moves out of the extremities and into the core functions of the body, like digestion. So the tummy starts to rumble. It's very normal for emotions to come up as well. That could be tears, it could be laughter, it could be coughing, it could be needing to take a deep breath. It might be other emotions. And, a sound bath is a safe space. So all of that is okay. And I'm there to support you and guide you through it if you need that. Some people go on a sort of journey in their mind, and that's because the bowls that I used are tuned to a healing frequency, so 432 hertz. They can put the brain into what we call a theta state, a theta brainwave state, and that is a lovely state for the mind to be in. It's somewhere between wake and sleep, a really relaxed state, like a dreamlike state of consciousness. So you might see dreamlike images. It slows the brain waves down. The benefits vary from person to person. We can't guarantee specific results because everyone's individual, right? There's lots of research that's been done into sound healing and using sound to heal. Sound vibrations from crystal singing bowls can improve nervous system function, muscle relaxation, regulated breathing, a slower heart rate, a calmer mind. And when we're in these states, like I said before, we're moving out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. And really that's the idea with Reiki and sound. So when you're in a state of rest and digest, the energy is going back to the core functions of the body, and then the body's innate healing abilities become more effective. So we're allowing energy to flow freely. There's less stagnation. We're balancing things out. We're clearing away what is no longer serving, and we're optimizing, vibrational alignment and just generally enhancing our overall health and well-being. So you might experience deeper relaxation, stress and anxiety relief. You might experience improved focus, better clarity, better sleep is very common feedback. And there is a potential there for healing and altered states of consciousness. I remember my first ever sound bath, someone said, wow, that was like a psychedelic experience because they saw so many colours, which I thought was pretty cool. And they were very happy about that, by the way, they weren't freaked out. It's different for everybody and beneficial for everybody, and I love it. Okay, so I've shared a bit about what you might experience during and after a sound bath. I've shared a bit about what a sound bath is. I like to provide everything. I like you to know that you just turn up and relax, and that's all you have to do. Some sound baths I would investigate first and just check what you need to bring. So the sound practitioner should share with you if you need to bring like pillow, mat, blanket, all that stuff. They should share that in advance of the session, and that's a very common thing. So but for my sound baths, I don't want you to have to think about anything because I think people have enough on their minds, right? Enough to think about, enough to remember. I don't want you to leave your house and be like, oh man, I've forgotten my pillow. I've got nothing to lie on. What am I going to do? No worries, I provide everything. So if you come to one of my regular sound baths, you will know I provide all the mats, all the pillows, all the bolsters, all the blankets, and eye pillows that I personally made for you guys with lavender and rosemary, no less, from my dad's garden. Thank Dad. So I provide all of that. And so in a sound bath, you can sit down. There are chairs available too. But because people like to zone out, zen out, maybe fall asleep, it's usually safer to be on the floor if you can be, because you can't fall off the floor, right? So I usually suggest to people that they choose a position that they sleep in. So whatever position you usually sleep in, you're most comfortable in, and you can then totally relax. You can always change the position if you feel uncomfortable at any point. So I said I provide all the equipment. I also lay out the equipment, so you don't have to do anything. You literally just turn up and lie down. I like to arrange it in my own special way, so it's like rays of sun, sunbeams around my little blanket with the bowls on it. So you come in, you lie down, and every sound bath is different. Every practitioner is different. So I'm speaking for myself, not for anybody else. In my sessions, you turn up, everything is set up. I give a little introduction to Reiki and sound healing. So I share a bit about what a sound bath is, a bit about Reiki because I'm bringing it into the session. And then I invite you to get snuggly on your mat, on your blanket, with your pillow and your bolster. So the bolster is the long, like sausage-shaped pillow that goes beneath your knees if you're lying on your back, or between your knees if you're lying on your side, just to support your hips or your back, depending on your position. So you get comfy and cozy. I'll talk you into relaxation, support you with a little bit of breath work, maybe we set an intention. Every session is sort of different in that way. Then I play the bowls. So if you're coming to one of my sessions in Purley in South London, I will play the bowls for about 50 minutes, 50 minutes, so nearly an hour of sound healing. I always leave a few minutes of silence after I've played the bowls just to allow everything to settle, allow the energy to settle, allow the last bowl to play out. And then I will talk you back around into a seated position. So there's no rush when you hear silence to sit up immediately. You're probably not going to be able to anyway because you'll be off away with the fairies or asleep. So I will talk you back around to a seated position very slowly, very gently. There is no rush. I always allow plenty of time so you never feel rushed or pressured to do something before you're ready. And after the session, I will invite you, if you want to share, you're welcome to share your experience, any sensations you felt, any colours you saw, any questions you have. I'm always there to answer them. It's a safe space, and what happens in the session stays in the session, like Vegas. So always a safe space, and sound baths always attract the loveliest people. I can't tell you, it's always such a wonderful experience. And so after the session, I'll answer any questions. You have the option to share, if you want to, your experience with the group. I do a little talk through the chakras because I said before I use 7 bowls in my sound bath sessions, and each bowl corresponds to a different chakra, a different energy center on the body. So it can be quite interesting for people, especially if you saw colours. Each colour corresponds to a different energy centre on the body. So I play them again so you can see me and understand which sound is which. And people find it quite interesting to notice any correlations between the sound they heard or the sensation they heard and the explanation of each chakra point, right? So I always share that because I want you to really take away more than the healing itself, right? So the experience is wonderful, and really that's what counts, just like with Reiki. It's the experience that matters. But if you are interested in deepening your experience, then sometimes hearing more about what's behind it can really support that deepening, that deepening in your understanding. So that's why I share it, really. And also I just love talking about all that stuff. I always give everybody a good quality bar of chocolate, a small bar of dark chocolate, which is really delicious. And, I sacrifice a lot for you guys because I tested a lot of chocolate to make sure I got the right chocolate bar for you. It's good quality, 85% dark chocolate, which is really great for grounding after a session. And then optional for you, again, you can choose an oracle card. An oracle card is just a lovely card with a nice positive message on it for you. It's not a tarot card reading, that's different. People love the oracle cards. People always ask me where I get them, and you can find them on my Amazon shop if you're interested. I have an Amazon shop. Sound baths are wonderful. So I've talked you through what happens. Usually it's about 90 minutes from start to finish. So from when you arrive to when you leave, it's about 90 minutes. And I'm always available after the session to answer any questions or look at your oracle card with you or talk about your experience compared to other sound baths, etc., etc. So it's really lovely. And I always hug people hello and goodbye. So prepare yourself for that. You don't have to hug me. I won't make you hug me. My sound baths always include aspects of Reiki, breath work, maybe some meditation, maybe some intention setting. I like to use aromatherapy with my sound baths as well. So Really, I just try and think of anything and everything that I would enjoy, and I like to include that because I hope, you would enjoy it too. So I hope you do enjoy them. Let's see. What should you wear for a sound bath? Well, comfortable clothes. Like I said before, you don't need to wear a swimsuit, but you can if you want to. Comfy, loose clothing. You might want to come in your PJs. And a hoodie, something cozy, something comfy. You're going to be lying down. Really depends on the weather, right? I provide a blanket, but if it's really cold outside, might want to dress more warmly. You might want to bring warm socks because we take our shoes off when we lie down. So generally, like Reiki, you come in, you take off your shoes and your coat, and then sit down, we have a chat, and then I encourage you to lie down and get cozy. What do you need to bring? Well, actually, nothing. You don't really need to bring anything. If you want to, you could bring a bottle of water because it's really important to stay hydrated. So I always encourage people to bring a bottle of water, but you don't have to. You can go home and have a drink after the sound bath. That's fine too. So really, nothing. You don't need to bring anything. Who can participate in a sound bath? Well, sound baths are actually suitable for most people, from teenagers to older people. But obviously, your health and safety come first. No harm has ever come to anybody who's been to one of my sound baths. Crystal singing bowls are very gentle, powerful but gentle. I've played in care homes, I've played for young people, I've played for older people, I've played for people with hearing issues, with pacemakers, with all sorts, and they've been perfectly fine. But it is my responsibility as a practitioner to inform you that if you are affected by epilepsy, if you're pregnant, if you have a mental health diagnosis, if implants or pacemakers or metal plates in the body, if you've had surgery recently, if you've had a cancer diagnosis, or anything else that you feel could impact your experience or be impacted by the sound or vibrations. If you have any doubts whatsoever, consult with your doctor and just ensure that you feel comfortable coming to the sound bath. As I said before, crystal singing bowls are very gentle. Some bowls might give off a higher or a lower pitched sound. So if you think that could cause discomfort for you, again, consider that. Maybe listen to crystal singing bowls online and just see how you feel with it. But if you have any doubts in terms of your physical health or your mental health, then definitely see a doctor, because I'm not a doctor. Are there any side effects from a sound bath? Well, usually most experiences, like 99% of experiences, are very positive from the feedback I've received. As I said before, people generally feel lighter, relaxed, a little bit sleepy maybe. You might get detox-like symptoms after the session, which is why I always suggest drinking lots of water. Most people say that they sleep really well after a sound bath, and I generally hold my sound baths in the evening so that you can go home and go to sleep, because they're really good for supporting sleep. So generally the feedback is positive. I'm just trying to think if anybody's ever said anything where they didn't have a positive experience. No. Maybe one or two people have said in the past that they found it hard to relax and switch off. But I would say that can be normal, right? Because you're in a new environment, doing a new activity, even though you're not really doing anything, but you're in a new place and trying a new thing. And so if you do find you're in your head a lot and you like to know what's coming, sometimes it's normal to be in your head when it's a new experience, because your brain doesn't know what to expect. So often with the first sound bath, people might say it took me a while to relax fully. And then by the time they come for their second sound bath, they know what to expect and they know what's coming, more or less. I always play slightly differently, never play the same thing twice, really. Everyone is always different, but with the second one, people generally feel more comfortable and relaxed and find it easier to switch off. It sort of depends what your experience has been that day, that week, and also, how your brain works, how your mind works. But generally people find it to be a very relaxing experience. How often should I attend sound baths? You can attend sound baths as frequently as you want to, based on your own needs and preferences. Many people come once a month to my sound baths. I hold them twice a month. And you're welcome to come twice a month if you enjoy them that much. And, I play the bowls most days and I feel great. So you can come often as, you want to. Here's a question I get asked. What should I do if I become uncomfortable or need to use the bathroom during the sound bath experience? Well, listen to your body is what I would say. If lying down doesn't feel right, you can sit up, you can turn over, you can lie on your side, lie on your front. You don't need any permission from me or anybody else to change position. I always suggest that people use the bathroom before the session starts, but of course, if you need to use the bathroom during the session, you can go. Again, you don't need permission. I will keep on playing regardless. All I ask is that you are obviously mindful of the other participants who might be asleep and trying to relax. How do you reserve your place? Well, you do that by going to my website, which is threelittlebirdsofficial.com, and you can book your place online. It's an easy booking process. Do you offer bespoke and corporate sound bath experiences? Yes, I do. And I have offered sound baths at schools for teachers, for students, care homes, women's circles, men's circles, why not? For Hindus or Zendus, for birthdays, just because it's a Wednesday and they felt like a sound bath. It doesn't have to be a special occasion, but it can be. I've done sound bath sessions at yoga studios, after yoga classes, after boxing classes, after fitness classes. They're lovely to use in all sorts of events. I've done them for NHS staff, spiritual fairs, wellbeing fairs. Really, I mean, pick an occasion. You can have a sound bath there if you want a workplace sound bath. It's a really nice way of supporting your team. A lovely thing to do at work. I mean, goodness me, have a lie down and listen to some sound bowls being played. Yes, please. And also we can tailor the session to your company or to your workplace. So if you have a particular theme you're focused on, a particular intention or a desired outcome that you're looking to achieve, then we can certainly tailor the session to whatever that is. And you can get more information about private sessions. So I can do 1-to-1 sessions, 2-to-1. So if you and your partner or you and your friend or a group of friends or your office or your school or your yoga class, whatever it is, anybody can have a sound bath experience, really. Of course, if you have any doubts about that, you should consult with your doctor. But they're a wonderful way of supporting your own well-being and the well-being of those around you. So if you're interested in that, there's lots of information on my website. It's threelittlebirdsofficial.com. And if you'd like more information, you can contact me directly. It's amy@threelittlebirdsofficial.com. Another question is, how can a sound bath experience benefit my team? So if you're a company and you have employees and you're interested in supporting their well-being, which is a wonderful thing, by the way, to invest in your employees' well-being, not only because it supports them, but also it supports you, right? It supports you in having an effective company. It can help with focus and creativity and concentration. It can stimulate innovative thinking because, again, we're going into that creative brainwave state, that theta state. It can promote mindfulness. It can increase productivity, can reduce stress and anxiety. It can foster community and strengthen relationships, especially if people are open to sharing after the sound bath, sharing their experience. It's a lovely thing to do for team building. It's a great thing to do for communication, to support communication and listening. Again, I've told you before that it supports sleep, so improving sleep quality. And the better you sleep, the better you feel, right, the next day. It can also be used as a natural pain relief. I've seen lots of videos where they're using sound healing in hospitals now, which is amazing. So there's some evidence there to support that it can alleviate some physical discomfort too. It's great for supporting mental well-being, mental health, and as part of a preventative wellness strategy as well. So not only treating symptoms, but treating the cause. And it's really wonderful for activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So reducing tension, bringing emotional balance, and really lovely for boosting morale. So there's so many benefits to it. And again, much like Reiki, if you heard my talk about Reiki, the best way to understand what happens in a sound bath experience is really to go to one and try it out. So if you're local to me, you're very welcome to come to one of my sound bath experiences. As I said before, you're guaranteed to meet some wonderful people. I always attract best people to my sound baths, and you can book online. But if you're not local to me, then why don't you book a sound bath in your area? I'm sure there's many. Have a look around. And if you can't find one in your area, maybe you could look on YouTube. It's a slightly different experience listening on YouTube because you don't quite get the vibration of the bowls that you do when you're in person. But it's still a lovely way to get a taster, to get an idea if it's something you might enjoy. So highly recommend trying it. If you have heard this podcast and you want to try one of mine, you can go to my website. It's threelittlebirdsofficial.com. Pick a date that you like. There's a sound healing page on there. You can skip ahead to book now and you just find a date that works for you. Click the date, and if it's available, you'll be able to book a ticket. I hope to see you at a sound bath soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.